Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we've got some kids for you in this dialogue. They're doing something that's very common in America. I'm not so sure if it's common elsewhere, but we'll find that out later.
So today we're going to ask for money because we are having a fundraiser. So this is a very interesting word. Why don't we take a look at it in Vocabulary Preview?
Vocabulary Preview.
So fundraiser is a thing. It's an event. It's something that you do at a school or a business to try and collect money for a special event or charity.
That's right. So money, you can also say, is funds, right? And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to collect, you're trying to gather a lot of money or funds in order for, like you say, some sort of objective purpose.
Right, but it's not just like we're having a fundraiser to earn more profits this year. It's
Right.
usually an event that's for some kind of charity or good cause. So, for example, the company is having a fundraiser for Jenny's child because he's sick and they can't pay for medical care.
Right.
So fundraiser is for a good cause.
Exactly. So that's what this dialogue is all about today. Why don't we listen to the dialogue for the first time, and we'll be back in a bit.
Okay, Mark, it's your turn to ring the doorbell. I did it last time.
I hate going door to door, and I hate asking for money.
But we need to raise enough money for the school fundraiser so that our class can win the pizza party. You do want to have a pizza party, don't you?
Yes, but
Just go already.
no one's coming.
Try again.
Maybe there's no one home.
Of course there's someone home. There are 2 cars in the driveway and I can see lights on in the house. Hello? Anybody home? We would like to know if you want to sponsor us in our school fundraiser. 50% of the profits go towards the new school playground.
I don't know why anyone would want what's in this catalog anyway. It's just a bunch of tacky Christmas ornaments, CDs of old people singing Christmas songs, and special crackers and cheeses and boxes of chocolates.
You don't like chocolate?
Not this kind. They've got weird names like Ganache and Praline.
Look, I just saw someone walking around inside. These people are being very rude. Finally, someone's coming.
They don't look too happy.
Hi, sir. Would you like to sponsor us or make a donation to
What grade are you kids in?
grade 7?
Then for goodness sake, don't you see this sign? Can't you read?
No soliciting?
All right, so obviously the kids are selling candy and a lot of different things for their new playground. That's the fundraiser, right? So they use a lot of interesting words and phrases there. Why don't we take a look at a couple of them on Language Takeaway?
Language takeaway.
Well, the first word is one that, Marco, you've already talked a little bit about today. We talked about fundraiser, to raise. Well, we do have the verb here, to raise enough money. So raise is a verb that means to collect or gather or to get.
That's right. So you wouldn't really say we are collecting money or we are gathering money. You say we are raising money for the victims of the earthquake in Haiti.
That's right. So the reason we don't say we are earning money is because you're not doing any work.
Right.
Really. You're not going to the job at 9 o'clock and leaving the job at 5 o'clock. You're actually asking people for donations.
Exactly. So that's what you're doing. You are raising money. And now moving on, another way that you can help people maybe through a charity or donation is also to sponsor someone or something.
Okay, so people can sponsor events or people, and companies can also do this as well. So to sponsor someone is basically to give them money in support of a cause.
Right.
For example, have you ever done one of those 5K runs or 10K runs? Did you have to collect sponsors basically to find people who would help pay money for you to do this run?
Not personally, but I know people who have, who actually get companies interested, and maybe that person, for example, is going to run 5 kilometers in this race in order to raise money for victims of some serious illness. And so they get sponsors, they get companies to donate money for this cause.
Right. You could have a person or a company sponsor you. They could be your sponsor by giving you money that you can then use for this charity or special cause.
That's right. But the difference between a fundraiser and to sponsor something or someone is that sponsoring is not always for a charity or for some sort of non-profit cause, right? We have many sponsors for concerts or for sporting events.
That's right. So oftentimes when you see athletes, they have their sponsors or their sponsors' logos written all over their jerseys, the clothes that they wear. So, for example, if you're watching Formula One racing, you see the Ferrari and the bank emblems and all these different things.
That's right. So those are different ways of sponsoring events or people. And now moving on, we have a word that's, well, not really related to money and fundraisers, but it's a very interesting word and very common. When the kids mention that they're selling a bunch of tacky Christmas ornaments.
Tacky.
Tacky.
Okay, you're going to hear this a lot, and the interesting thing about the word tacky is that it means something different to everyone. So what I think is tacky might be just normal for Marco, and what Marco thinks is really tacky might be something that I actually like.
Right.
And so tacky is basically a bad thing. It means something is not good looking or not very
fashionable.
Fashionable.
It's like in bad taste. But as you say, taste is something subjective, right? So maybe, for example,
sometimes we say that when girls wear too much makeup, it's very tacky.
Right.
Bright red lipstick and blue eyeshadow.
Exactly. So a guy might say, oh, that's so tacky. Whereas another person might not think it's tacky at all. So this happens a lot, and we use this word a lot with decorations, for example. For someone's house, you may describe it as tacky, or a restaurant or a bar.
Right, so for maybe sometimes those Italian restaurants that have the red and white checkered tablecloths and the pictures of the Italians with the mustaches, I might think that's a little bit tacky, but maybe you think it's cute.
Right. So something that's tacky. And as we say, people use it all the time. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. You can just say, oh, it's a little bit tacky, or I think this thing is a little bit tacky.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's it, right?
Solicit,
okay. And our final word on language takeaway, towards the end of the dialogue, when the kids were reading the sign said no soliciting, and they didn't understand what that means. What does it mean when you have a sign that says no soliciting?
Okay, so to solicit is to try to sell something or to offer a service. So basically the sign means, please don't come to my house and sell me stuff.
Okay.
For example, we have door-to-door insurance salesmen or makeup salespeople, and these people go to your door and they try to sell you their product. And no soliciting means don't come to my house. I'm not going to answer the door if you're trying to sell something.
So to solicit is to try and sell something. Okay, but usually in person, trying to make a sale uninvited, right?
That's
because
right.
If you're a businessman and you have a meeting, a sales meeting, you're not really soliciting with that other person.
No, this is basically trying to sell something to a stranger.
Exactly. Okay. Very good. So a lot of interesting words there. Why don't we listen to the dialogue again, and we'll be back shortly with Fluency Builder.
Okay, Mark, it's your turn to ring the doorbell. I did it last time.
I hate going door to door, and I hate asking for money.
But we need to raise enough money for the school fundraiser so that our class can win the pizza party. You do want to have a pizza party, don't you?
Yes, but
Just go already.
no one's coming.
Try again.
Maybe there's no one home.
Of course there's someone home. There are 2 cars in the driveway and I can see lights on in the house. Hello? Anybody home? We would like to know if you want to sponsor us in our school fundraiser. 50% of the profits go towards the new school playground.
I don't know why anyone would want what's in this catalog anyway. It's just a bunch of tacky Christmas ornaments, CDs of old people singing Christmas songs, and special crackers and cheeses and boxes of chocolates.
You don't like chocolate?
Not this kind. They've got weird names like Ganesh and Praline.
Look, I just saw someone walking around inside. These people are being very rude. Finally, someone's coming.
They don't look too happy.
Hi, sir. Would you like to sponsor us or make a donation to
What grade are you kids in?
grade 7?
Then for goodness sake, don't you see this sign? Can't you read?
No soliciting?
All right, so now we're back, and we have 4 key phrases for you on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Okay, this first phrase is a pretty common one. We wanted to make sure that everyone was comfortable with the verb that goes with doorbell. So, Marco, what do you do to a doorbell?
You ring the doorbell.
You ring the doorbell.
So you don't touch it, you don't press it. You can press it, but you ring the doorbell. That's the verb.
Okay, so for example, when I was little, my brother and I always used to fight about who could ring the doorbell.
Really?
Yes. I loved ringing the doorbell, and so did he.
Do you do the long ring or do you do the
Ding, 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 ding.
you do it like that.
The annoying ring. Yeah, so to ring the doorbell.
All right. All right. And, well, going back, when we were talking about no soliciting, you said that salespeople go door to door selling things. Mm-hmm. So this is an interesting phrase, and it's a fixed phrase, going door to door.
Well, think about it. So a salesperson who wants to sell maybe some makeup goes to one house and no one wants to buy any makeup there. So she goes to the next house. So she's going from house to house. But we don't really say house to house because she's going to your door to offer the makeup. So we just say going door to door. That means going to strangers' homes in order. One door after the next to sell something.
Very good. You go door to door. So you, for example, someone can go door to door asking for some sugar.
That's right. Or we could say he is a door to door salesman.
Door to door salesman. Very good. All right. And now we have an interesting question, and it's a very good one because it's a question that comes up a lot. When somebody asks you, if you're studying, for example, what grade are you in?
Okay, what grade are you in? So in the American system, for example, we have the very, very bottom, grade K, which is kindergarten for maybe a 5-year-old. And at the very top, we have high school, grade 12.
Right.
And so in between, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. And so basically, to find out what year in school a student is, you have to ask him or her, what grade are you in?
Right. So then the person would say, I'm in 6th grade, I'm in 8th grade. But this is the way you ask this question for school, as you said, a kid that's maybe 5 years old all the way to 18 years old in high school. What grade are you in? Now, if you're in university and you want to ask your friend what year of university that person's in, then you say,
what year are you?
What year are you?
Yeah, you don't say grade. So basically, grade refers to, like what you said, Marco, those first 12 years of school. And so we call them we don't call it grade school. So you could ask anybody under the age of 18, what grade are you in? But when you go to university or when you're talking about university students, it gets a little bit different.
So you can say, what year are you in, or what year are you?
So if you're not sure about someone's age and you maybe think they're in college, you can ask them, what year are you? But generally, anyone under 18, what grade are you in?
Okay, good. All right, and our last phrase, and this is kind of an expression, right?
Yeah.
Goodness sake, for goodness sake.
Okay, so let's look at the context. The kids say, we're in grade 7, and the person at the door says, then for goodness sake, don't you see this sign?
Right, for goodness sake. So this is an expression that's used to indicate maybe you're a little bit frustrated.
Yes.
Right?
So it's like, come on, or my goodness, or for Pete's sake.
For Pete's sake.
We have many ways of saying, all right, come on, I'm a little tired of this.
Right. You're irritating me.
Right. So basically the person's saying, you are too old for this. You're too old for this. You should read what it says on my door. No soliciting.
Right.
And so the person's angry.
Right. The person's angry because these kids are trying to sell her something when clearly she has a sign that says no soliciting.
That's right.
Okay, a lot of interesting phrases there. Why don't we go back, listen to our dialogue for the very last time, and we'll be back to talk with you a little bit more.
Okay, Mark, it's your turn to ring the doorbell. I did it last time.
I hate going door to door, and I hate asking for money.
But we need to raise enough money for the school fundraiser so that our class can win the pizza party. You do want to have a pizza party, don't you?
Yes, but...
Just go already.
No one's coming.
Try again.
Maybe there's no one home.
Of course there's someone home. There are 2 cars in the driveway and I can see lights on in the house. Hello? Anybody home? We would like to know if you want to sponsor us in our school fundraiser. 50% of the profits go towards the new school playground.
I don't know why anyone would want what's in this catalog anyway. It's just a bunch of tacky Christmas ornaments, CDs of old people singing Christmas songs and special crackers and cheeses and boxes of chocolates.
You don't like chocolate?
Not this kind. They've got weird names like Ganache and Praline.
Look, I just saw someone walking around inside. These people are being very rude. Finally, someone's coming.
They don't look too happy.
Hi, sir. Would you like to sponsor us or make a donation to...
What grade are you kids in?
Grade 7.
Then for goodness sake, don't you see this sign? Can't you read?
No soliciting?
All right, so door-to-door salesman. I think this used to be a very American thing. I think back in the 50s, you would always see movies where this was actually a profession.
That's right.
People would go door-to-door selling hairbrushes or magazine subscriptions, pretty much everything.
Yeah, you still see it sometimes. Some people sell insurance or there are a lot of religious door-to-door salespeople who want to sell religious books or magazines. But I think it was much more popular in the 1950s because people didn't really use their phones as much to sell things.
Right.
It was cheaper to have someone drive his car to your neighborhood and then go to every single house.
Right.
But yeah, it's a very interesting job. I think it'd be very lonely.
And also, I think, well, now maybe that's been reduced a lot because now you have the internet.
Oh, yeah. Well, the internet means that the salespeople come to you without you having to get up.
Right.
So basically, you're sitting at home in your pajamas and you can order a TV and some clothes.
But it's very interesting because I remember you would have all these door-to-door salesmen. For example, I had one visit me once who was selling me encyclopedias.
Really?
A big collection of 37 books or more. It was a huge amount of books, encyclopedias. And I don't know if you see that anymore.
Not really, not in the States.
I don't know if anyone buys physical, huge encyclopedias to have in their home.
No, only collectors, perhaps.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting profession. I don't know, in the United States, as you say, it's not very common anymore. Very little, maybe specific services. But this is interesting. Maybe in your country, this is still a big thing.
Yeah, let us know. In your country, are door-to-door salespeople still common? Do you see them? Our website is englishpod.com. We hope to see you there.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Increase in size, quantity, or worth. Raise. From one house to the next. Door to door. Short private road from a street to a house. Driveway. Agree to pay for an event or activity. Sponsor. The act of giving to a fund or cause. Donation. Seek to obtain by persuasion, entity, or formal. Solicit. A person or an action which collects money for particular purposes. Fundraiser.
Let's try that faster.
Seek to obtain by persuasion, entity, or formal. Solicit. A person or an action which collects money for particular purposes. Fundraiser. The act of giving to a fund or cause. Donation. Increase in size, quantity, or worth. Raise. Short private road from a street to a house. Driveway. Agree to pay for an event or activity. Sponsor. From one house to the next. Door to door.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Raise. After 4 months of doing odd jobs for my neighbors, I finally raised enough money to buy a bicycle. Raise. They were raising money for the people who had lost their homes in the earthquake. Raise. At the end of the fundraiser, the hospital had raised enough money to buy the new machine. Sponsor. He sponsored several kids in the fundraiser. Sponsor. Air Canada sponsored the Vancouver Olympics. Sponsor. Every month, I give money to the child I sponsor in Asia. Driveway. %80 of the profits will go to the people in need, while the other 20% will be spent on administrative cost. Driveway. 2/3 Z of the profits will go towards the new drum set for the band. Driveway. She was quite surprised when she learned that only a small percentage of the profits would actually be helping kids go to summer camps. Donation. He gave a huge donation to the organization. Donation. I made a donation to my sister's drama fundraiser. Donation. We received so many donations that we raised twice the amount we had set as our goal. Solicit. I solicited around my neighborhood last week to raise money for our school band trip. Solicit. The organization encouraged its members to go door to door soliciting for their cause. Solicit. Many buildings don't allow soliciting.
Hello everyone and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and if you've been following along with us recently, you'll know that we have a series about interviewing in English. And so today we have the very last episode of that series.
That's right. Today is the last part of our interview series, and we're basically just saying goodbye and doing some other things when you're leaving an interview. It's very important, the things that you say.
That's right, because this is the last thing that you're going to do in the interview, so it's what your interviewer will remember. So let's take a listen to today's dialogue, and we'll be back in a moment.
Well, Rebecca, is there anything else you need to know for now?
I don't think so, Mr. Parsons. I think you have covered all the main points for me.
Okay, well, listen. Here's my business card with my mobile number. If any other questions spring to mind, don't hesitate to contact me. Of course, you can also call Miss Childs, too.
Great. When can I expect to hear from you?
Well, we are finishing the short list interviews tomorrow, so we will certainly have a decision made by early next week. Miss Childs will call you to discuss more on Monday or Tuesday. How does that sound?
That sounds perfect. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me, Mr. Parsons.
The pleasure is all mine, Rebecca.
I hope to hear from you very soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming, Rebecca. Goodbye.
All right, great. So really good things from Rebecca. She said some very interesting things, key things there. So why don't we take a look at those on Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
At the beginning of the end of the interview, Rebecca says, listen, I think you have covered all the main points for me. So this is after Mr. Parsons asks her if she has questions. And this word, covered, is very important.
That's right. So if we talk about cover, to cover the main points or to cover a topic, it means to discuss it thoroughly or to have it finished.
Right. So if I still have questions, we have not covered everything. Mm-hmm. But if I did ask all of the questions that I have, then we've covered everything. So the verb here is to cover.
That's right. Okay, and Mr. Parsons says, well, you know what? Here's my business card with my mobile number. So this word business card, key element of any interview or any business situation.
As you say, a key part of any business interaction. So a business card is a very small card, usually thick. And it has a person's name, job, phone number, and sometimes email address now on the card. So the information can change, but it's a contact card, basically, for one person.
That's right. So this is very important to have around, especially in situations like this. Okay, and moving on, he also told her that if she has any other questions, to not hesitate and to contact him.
This is a very common phrase. Don't hesitate to contact me, or don't hesitate to ask.
That's right.
So to hesitate means to be nervous about something or to maybe not do it because you're uncomfortable. So, Marco, I want to ask you something, but I'm not sure if I want to ask you. Maybe you'll be angry or... So I'm hesitating.
Right.
Okay? The
So
verb here is to hesitate.
You have doubts.
I have doubts. And so he says, don't hesitate to contact me. That means any questions, any issues, please call me.
Okay, very good. And Mr. Parsons said that they are finishing the short list of interviews tomorrow. So what does it mean, a short list?
Well, a short list is something we talk about during the interview process because the interviewer, so in this case, Mr. Parsons, will have a long list of people who want the job. And maybe after the first interview, he will cut the list down to a very small number of people, 10 or 15. And that is called the short list. So those are the people who did well on the first interview, but who maybe should come back for a second or third interview.
That's right. Okay. Very good. So a lot of great things there. Why don't we take a break? Let's go back and listen to the dialogue. Let's see what Mr. Parsons and Rebecca said. And we'll be back with some really good phrases that you can close off an interview with.
Well, Rebecca, is there anything else you need to know for now?
I don't think so, Mr. Parsons. I think you have covered all the main points for me.
Okay, well, listen. Here's my business card with my mobile number. If any other questions spring to mind, don't hesitate to contact me. Of course, you can also call Miss Childs, too.
Great. When can I expect to hear from you?
Well, we are finishing the short list interviews tomorrow, so we will certainly have a decision made by early next week. Miss Childs will call you to discuss more on Monday or Tuesday. How does that sound?
That sounds perfect. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me, Mr. Parsons.
The pleasure is all mine, Rebecca.
I hope to hear from you very soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming, Rebecca. Goodbye.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at those phrases we mentioned on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
So let's go back to the beginning where Mr. Parsons is talking about questions that Rebecca might have. And so Mr. Parsons says, if any other questions spring to mind, don't hesitate to contact me. So this phrase, spring to mind, is very interesting. What does this mean?
Well, basically, if something springs to your mind or springs to mind, it means that it comes very suddenly and quickly into your mind. It just pops into your head.
Wow, so to spring, or springs in this case, is like jumping. So something hits your mind very quickly. It comes into your mind very quickly. So, I don't really have any ideas, Marco, for that party next week, but, if anything springs to mind, you should let me know.
Okay. So if you have any sudden ideas or anything you suddenly remember, that's what it means to spring to mind. Okay, so taking a look at these expressions that Rebecca used when she's leaving. For example, you know that you finished the interview, and a typical question that you want to make is, when can I expect to hear from you?
This is a great question at the end of an interview because it's basically a way of saying, listen, I'm interested in this job. When will you call me about it? And so the phrase, when can I expect to hear from you, means, when will you tell me your decision?
That's right. But it's a lot more polite and formal and better than saying, when are you going to call me?
Yeah, you would never say that in an... Well, you wouldn't want to say that in an interview because it makes you sound desperate, like you really need the job. In this case, when can I expect to hear from you? It's like, oh, well, I hope that you'll get in touch with me.
That's right. Okay. And well, he explained that they're shortlisting everything and that they will be in touch with her very soon. And she said, wow, that sounds perfect. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me.
Okay, so this phrase, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me, is very long. But you know what thank you very much means. The key here is for taking the time to do something. Now, what does this mean? What's another way we can use this?
It's basically saying thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to talk to you. I know you're very busy and I know you don't have a lot of time, so thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me.
Right, so you could even use this with a teacher at school. You know, you have a question, your teacher is busy, but your teacher makes some time to meet with you. You say, hey, listen, professor, or listen, teacher. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me.
You're just demonstrating that you appreciate the effort and the time.
And you're being very polite.
That's right. Okay. And now the last phrase. When Rebecca is leaving the room, they're shaking hands maybe, and Rebecca says, I hope to hear from you very soon.
You can say, I hope to hear from you soon. But in this case, she's saying, listen, I really want this job. She doesn't want to say, call me tomorrow. She says, I hope to hear from you soon. I hope that this works out, that I get the job.
Right. So she's basically demonstrating a lot of interest, saying, well, I really like the job and I really would like for you to call me and give me good news. So I hope to hear from you soon.
Exactly. So let's listen to today's dialogue one more time, and we'll be back in a moment to talk a little bit more about how to end an interview.
Well, Rebecca, is there anything else you need to know for now?
I don't think so, Mr. Parsons. I think you have covered all the main points for me.
Okay, well, listen. Here's my business card with my mobile number. If any other questions spring to mind, don't hesitate to contact me. Of course, you can also call Miss Childs, too.
Great. When can I expect to hear from you?
Well, we are finishing the short list interviews tomorrow, so we will certainly have a decision made by early next week. Miss Childs will call you to discuss more on Monday or Tuesday. How does that sound?
That sounds perfect. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me, Mr. Parsons.
The pleasure is all mine, Rebecca.
I hope to hear from you very soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming, Rebecca. Goodbye.
So this is a great way of ending an interview. Rebecca did a really good job. And I think there are a couple of suggestions or tips that you would like to give our users.
Yeah, well, one of them is don't, at the end of the interview, ask the person if you have the job. They'll say, we will be in touch, or thank you so much for coming in. But if they don't say, we would really like to have you join this company, then you probably shouldn't ask. You should say, when can I expect to hear from you? That's more polite. Because I think a lot of times if you didn't get the job, it makes the interviewer feel very uncomfortable. But also it's just a polite thing to do. So be careful with that. And I've also been told from people in business that if you do receive a job offer, don't accept right away. Say, I will think about it and I'll get back in touch with you.
Oh, okay. Kind of like a strategy maybe to better negotiate the terms and conditions.
Exactly. So you want to take that information, you want to go home, you want to think about it, talk about it with your wife or your husband and decide, is this something I want? And then you can contact the employer.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a very good idea. And also, I think it's not a wise thing to call or contact the employer asking if you've got the job or asking if they have any news yet, because I think that can be a little bit annoying.
But if they say, we will be in touch on Tuesday, and it's a week later and they never got back to you, send a follow-up.
Of course.
A follow-up is an email or a letter or even a phone call where you say, listen, I'm really glad I got to meet you today. I hope that we have the opportunity to work together in the future. Please be in touch. Sincerely, and then your name.
Kind of like a reminder.
It's a reminder, like, I want the job. Here's my information. Let's do this.
Or at least if I didn't get the job, let me know that I didn't get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to the show. I'm James. Today I'm speaking with Sophia, a project manager with a story. Sophia, thanks for being here.
Thanks for inviting me, James. I'm happy to be here.
Let's start simple. Where did you grow up, and what shaped you the most?
I grew up in 3 cities. We moved for my mother's work. I learned to start over again and again. It made me curious and calm.
Curious and calm. That sounds like a good mix for tough projects.
It helps. When people panic, I listen first. When there is noise, I look for the signal.
Tell me about a time you found the signal.
Last winter, a supplier was late for 2 weeks. The team was angry. The client was louder. I made a call list and spoke to everyone. I heard the same fear. We'll miss the launch. The signal was not delays. It was trust. We rebuilt that first. Then the boxes showed up.
I like that. You fixed trust before timelines.
Yes, timelines heal once trust returns.
Have you always talked like this? Have you always talked like this?
It started as self-defense. In meetings, long speeches sink. Short lines float.
I might steal that. Short lines float.
I'll send an invoice later.
I'll pay. Jokes. What drew you to project work in the first place?
My father repaired watches. I watched tiny gears find rhythm. Projects feel like that. Small parts, clean motion, quiet joy when it all ticks.
What do you do under pressure?
I name it. This is pressure. Then it loses half its power. I ask for help early. I keep promises small and real.
A lot of leaders don't ask for help.
True, but every strong bridge rests on more than one pillar.
You brought a notebook. What's inside?
Lists, questions, one page for wins, no matter how small. It keeps me honest.
Can we peek at a win?
Yesterday, I fixed a team calendar. It showed 4 time zones wrong. No one noticed for months. Now it works. People arrived on time today. A small miracle.
Speaking of time, your voice is steady. Did you train it?
I used to rush. A mentor taught me to leave room. Silence can be kind. If the audience feels calm, they can hear the truth.
Let's talk about failure. A time you got it wrong.
I once said yes to a deadline that needed 2 extra days. I wanted to be helpful. It hurt the team. I learned a word. No, but. No, but here's a plan.
That's a gentle word. Firm, too.
Firmness can be soft, like a hand that fits just right.
You make work sound almost tender.
People do the work. When you care for people, the work cares for itself.
I'm gonna sit with that for a moment.
So, I honestly was so tired, I barely made it to work.
You mentioned moving a lot as a child. Did it make you lonely?
Sometimes. I knew the view from many new cafeteria tables, but it taught me to notice who looks lost, who needs a hello. That gift stayed.
You notice a lot, don't you?
I notice your pen taps when you think. 3 short taps, then a pause.
You can hear that on the mic?
It's soft, but it's there. It's honest.
Do you like honest sounds?
I do. They tell the room, you are not alone.
Wow, that line hit me.
I didn't plan it. It just arrived.
That's the best kind. Let's pivot. What kind of project still scares you?
The kind with hidden rules. When people say, it's always been this way, that can be a cage.
How do you open the door?
What problem was this rule born to solve? What problem was this rule born to solve? If the problem is gone, we thank the rule and retire it.
That sounds like a respectful goodbye.
Rules feel better when they're seen.
I'm thinking about the listeners now. Many are in their first jobs. Any advice in one sentence?
Yes, learn names, keep notes, and be brave enough to ask a clear question.
You keep circling back to care. Where does that come from?
A teacher named Miss Hale. She waited after class when I looked lost. She told me, good work is built on kind attention. I never forgot.
Let's get practical again. What tools do you swear by?
A whiteboard, sticky notes, a shared doc with 3 columns. Now, next, later.
And for your life?
Evening walks, a kettle that sings, a friend who tells me when my idea needs rest.
I could use that friend.
You can borrow mine.
Careful, I might keep them.
Then send cookies.
I want to ask about joy. Where do you find it at work?
In the second, when a team breathes out together. After a fix. In laughter that arrives without permission.
Like right now?
Like right now.
You're smiling. The listeners can't see it, but I can.
You're smiling too.
Maybe we should let people in on a secret. Interviews are strange. 2 strangers talk fast, yet something soft can grow.
It can. 2 minds meet, then the hearts catch up.
Did that just happen here?
I think something began. Quietly, kindly, between your pen taps and my short lines.
I feel it too. Is this still an interview?
Maybe it's turning into a conversation with the future.
You said you moved a lot. If you could choose one city to stay, which one?
The one where the night market smells like cinnamon and rain, or strangers hold doors for each other. Do you know it?
I think I've walked there in a dream.
Good. Bring your pen. It can tap the rhythm.
Sophia, I want to ask a different kind of question.
Go on.
What makes you feel safe?
Warm light, slow honesty, a promise that fits the mouth that says it. You?
Someone who listens the way you do. A voice that doesn't rush. A laugh that doesn't apologize.
We're very close to poetry, James.
I blame your short lines.
And your pen.
If we weren't recording, what would you ask me?
I'd ask what you wanted to be at 12.
A lighthouse keeper. No joke. I liked the idea of watching the sea and turning the light at the right time.
That is exactly what your pen taps do.
Explain. Well,
they send small light into the room. It's time, they say. Here's the next question.
You make me feel seen.
You are.
Do you want to know what I'd ask you off air?
Please.
What do you hope I notice about you that you won't say out loud?
That I keep promises, even the tiny ones. No one else counts. That I love steadiness. That I laugh with my whole face.
I noticed all 3.
Then I can breathe.
I'm aware of the clock, but I want to linger.
Time can bend for a few minutes.
What would we do with those minutes?
Maybe nothing big. Maybe we would drink tea. Maybe we would leave a little silence for the heart to speak.
Would you have tea with me after the show?
Yes, I thought you'd never ask.
I practice bravery on Thursdays. Today is Thursday.
Then we're right on time.
I want to respect your boundaries.
Thank you. I'll name them. Tea in a bright place, a short walk, no future promises while the kettle sings.
That sounds perfect.
It sounds kind.
Before we close, a few quick-fire work questions so I don't get fired as a host. Favorite meeting rule?
Start on time. Invite only those who move the work.
Favorite way to say no?
I can't by Friday, but I can by Tuesday.
Best sentence when conflict grows hot?
Let's go slower so we don't say words we'll have to walk back.
Last, your definition of leadership in 10 words or fewer.
Hold the light steady while others cross the bridge.
I will steal that and quote you every time.
Okay, I think I can. So, what did a joke say to the lamp?
A horse walks into a bar. The bartender says,
Why the long face? Classic.
You smiled with your whole face. Confirmed.
I warned you.
All right, we should wrap. Standard closing. What's next for you?
Tea with a friend. A calm afternoon. A small plan for tomorrow.
And after that?
We'll see. I like when life takes one careful step at a time.
For our listeners, we covered trust, rules, pressure, and small wins. We also covered something softer.
Yes, the part where two people notice each other.
I'm glad we did.
Me too.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
And thank you for what began.
We'll let it stay unnamed. For now.
For now.
James?
Yes?
Your pen just tapped twice instead of 3 times.
Maybe it learned a new rhythm.
Maybe it heard mine.
Listeners, we're done for today. Keep your promises small and real. Keep your lights steady. And if a gentle conversation finds you, let it.
And remember, we'll be out there finding the next quiet market with cinnamon and rain.
I'll bring the pen.
I'll bring the tea.
Then we're set.
Then we're set.
Welcome again, dear listeners. I want to tell you a story today, a real one, told simply in my own voice. It begins very early, before the sun even thinks about rising, and it follows me through a long morning, a longer interview, and a few surprises that made me smile. Take a breath with me. Let's step into that quiet hour when the city is still sleepy and nerves can be heard walking around the room in soft shoes. I wake up before dawn. The room is cool. The fan hums a thin song. I stare at the ceiling and rehearse lines in a whisper. Thank you for taking the time to speak to me. When can I expect to hear from you? I say them until they sound natural, not like a script, like me. I iron my shirt. It smells a little like rain. I check my bag, CV, notebook, pens, a small pack of nuts, just in case my brain asks for fuel. I practice a modest smile in the mirror. Not too big, not too confident. Warm, real. I tell myself 2 things. Breathe, be clear. I nod at my reflection as if it can sign a contract. Outside, the street is only half awake. A boy sells tea in tiny cups. Steam curls up like soft ghosts. I buy one. It is sweet and strong. It heats my hands and the part of my heart that wants courage. A taxi pulls over. The driver has kind eyes and a dramatic ringtone, an old movie theme that makes me laugh. He blushes, then laughs too. We are both awake now. The city stretches. Hills in the distance look like folded blankets. Shops yawn. I think about the job again. Operations assistant. Simple title. Big job. Listen. Plan. Fix. I like fixing. Not heroic fixes. Quiet ones. The kind most people never notice because nothing goes wrong. We reach the building. The guard at the door smiles and points me toward the elevator. The lobby smells like lemon and new paint. I ride up with a woman in bright sneakers. She looks at my folder, then at my tie. She says, "You'll do fine." I believe her for a full 10 seconds. The elevator dings. The doors open like a small theater curtain. On the 5th floor, a receptionist welcomes me. Her name is Aisha. She offers water. The waiting chairs are soft and not dangerous. A plant leans toward a big window. The city outside is a map of morning. I sit. I breathe. I tell my shoulders to relax. They listen for half a minute and then forget. A man with gentle eyes and a notebook enters. Mr. Rahman. He introduces himself and shakes my hand in a way that says, "We solve things here." We walk to a round table in a sunny room. The clock on the wall ticks like a calm heart. There is a small bowl of mints. The mints are the only ones not nervous. We begin. He asks about my last job. I keep it simple, short sentences, real stories. I tell him about a delivery gone wrong and a shop owner who was tired and angry. I describe how I listened first, then repeated what I heard to show respect. I explain the small steps we took to fix it. No drama, just order. He nods and takes notes. He likes the word order. I like it too. Miss Lee joins by video from a bright office in Seoul. There is a small delay, so our first hello is a comedy. We talk over each other, then stop at the same time, then laugh. The ice breaks itself. She asks about tools. I say I prefer simple ones. A shared board, clear flags, deadlines that are dates, not dreams. I write follow-ups like tiny letters to my future self, I say. She repeats the phrase and smiles. Future self letters. The idea travels across the screen and lands. Mr. Rahman gives me a scenario. A vendor is late. A client is nervous. My job is to take the call. I answer with a warm tone. I thank the client for calling. I repeat the facts. I promise a check-in at 3. Not soon, 3. I name the next 3 steps. I ask if that works. Silence in the room feels softer now. Miss Lee nods. Mr. Rahman underlines something. We speak about pressure. I say pressure is a guest. If you invite it to sit, it stops banging on the door. Miss Lee laughs. I might borrow that, she says. Please do, I reply. Humor helps. It makes the air feel friendly. Then the lights flicker. The room blinks. For a heartbeat, we all freeze. The screen shows Miss Lee mid-smile, like a painting. Power returns. We exhale together. Mr. Rahman grins. Welcome to operations, he says. Small storms, big umbrellas. I answer, I always carry an umbrella and a checklist. He taps his pen on the table. A happy tap. Aisha steps in with more water. The door squeaks a dramatic squeak. We all look at it. Mr. Rahman sighs. That door has strong opinions, he says. We laugh. He asks me what I would do about squeaks in an office. I keep it simple. A small process, I say. A little form. List the location, the noise, the time. One person collects reports every Friday. A tiny budget for oil, 10 minutes a week. Silence the drama. He smiles at the phrase. Silence the drama. He writes it down. We continue. Miss Lee asks about mistakes. I tell a brief story. I sent a status update with a wrong number once. I caught it 10 minutes later. I wrote a correction. I did not hide. I did not write a poem. I said, my mistake. Here is the right number. Here is the impact. Here is what I changed so this does not happen again. I say my mistake like a normal phrase. It tastes honest in the mouth. The room approves. Mr. Rahman leans back. What do you want in your first month? He asks. Trust, I say. Names, clear work. One early win that is small but visible. Something like that door. Something we can fix and feel. He nods. The clock ticks. The plant listens. The mints continue their quiet career. A knock on the glass. An intern peeks in. Her name tag says Nilafar. She whispers that the big conference room blinds are stuck and everyone is wearing sunglasses like a rock band. We all chuckle. I watch Mr. Rahman watch me. I take the cue. I can take a look afterward, I say. Maybe we can write a 2-line guide and save the sunglasses for Fridays. He laughs. Deal. We move to my questions. I ask about the team, about values, about what a good year looks like. We talk about sharing problems early, even when it feels awkward. He says the best people do not hide bad news or bury it under pretty words. They bring it into the light while it is small. I nod. I believe in small lights. Then I feel it. The end of the interview coming closer, like a train you can hear before you see. I relax my shoulders again. This time they listen. I thank them both for their time. The words are simple. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me. I add a line. If any other questions spring to mind, please don't hesitate to contact me. I say it gently because I mean it. I ask the line I practiced. When can I expect to hear from you? Mr. Rahman checks his notes. We finish interviews Thursday, he says. We decide early next week. Aisha will call you Monday or Tuesday. His voice is steady. The days between now and then stretch like a small bridge. I can walk that bridge. We stand. We shake hands. Miss Lee waves again from the screen. I reach for my bag. Then a funny thing happens. My phone, forgotten on silent, decides to wake up and play 1 second of a random clip. 1 second of a goat bleeding from a meme my cousin sent me. 1 second only, but very confident. The room goes quiet, then all three of us burst into laughter. I apologize with a smile. Even the goats are rooting for operations, Mr. Rahman says. The moment is human and warm. It feels like a good sign. In the hallway, Aisha gives me a business card. Crisp paper, clean font. Email if anything springs to mind, she says, smiling at her own phrase. I pocket the card like a small star. The elevator arrives. Inside, I share space with a tall plant and 2 cheerful colleagues. Someone's lunch leaks the smell of garlic. It is oddly comforting. On the ground floor, the guard gives me a thumbs up. Outside, the tea boy is back. He recognizes me. He pours me a victory sip. How did it go? His eyes ask. I let the tea answer. Sweet, warm, hopeful. I walk home because the day is mild. A stray cat follows me for 1 block, then decides I am boring. It leaves me for a parked motorcycle with more personality. I practice my thank you email in my head. Keep it short, mention 1 detail I liked, promise nothing I cannot deliver. I reach my building feeling light. At home, my sister is baking bread. She asks how it went. I give her the highlights. The lights, the door, the goat. She smiles so hard, the room brightens. Your life is a small comedy that keeps winning, she says. She hands me a warm piece of bread with honey. It tastes like a good idea. After lunch, I write the thank you note. Simple subject line. Thank you for today. 3 short lines. Gratitude. A bright moment I noticed. A reminder that I am happy to provide anything else they need. I hit send. The sound is a soft whoosh. A bird on the balcony answers with a chirp that sounds like approval. The afternoon drifts. I fix my neighbor's squeaky door with 1 drop of oil and 2 drops of patience. She gasps like I invented science. I tell her the credit goes to gravity and a small bottle. She gives me a cookie the size of a frisbee. I take a picture and send it to my sister with the caption, Office Training, Phase 1 Complete. Evening comes. I read a few pages from a thin book about focus. The words march in a friendly line. My phone stays quiet. That is fine. I am practicing the art of not staring at it. I place it face down and breathe. Night settles. The city cools. I sleep with the calm of someone who did their part. Morning again. Pale light at the window. I make tea. I open my notebook and title a page Monday or Tuesday. I list 3 ways to use waiting well. Learn one new thing, help someone, move my body. I stretch. I send my CV to another company, not from fear, but to stay in motion. The world rewards motion. My phone rings at noon. Aisha. Her voice is bright. She asks if I have a minute. I sit down. I have many minutes. She tells me the team liked my calm. They liked my small plans. They liked that I gave times, not fog. She says they want to offer me the job. My heart bows politely. I thank her. I do not accept immediately. I ask for a day. A good habit is a seatbelt for luck. She agrees. She emails the offer. I read it with care. The salary is fair. The hours are honest. There is a line about growth that feels like a window opening. I make a short list of questions, only useful ones. I walk around the block to let my thoughts breathe. The sky is a clean blue plate. A kite floats. A child runs below it like a tiny engine. Back at my desk, I call Aisha. I thank her again. I ask my questions. She answers with clear words, no fog. When we finish, I say the words that close a circle in a good way. I would be honored to join your team. She cheers. Someone claps near her desk. I hear a distant yes that makes me laugh into my sleeve. She says she'll send the start date and the onboarding plan. Welcome, she adds, and the word lands like a small flag on new ground. I put the phone down and let silence hug me. I look at my hands and they look back, a little surprised. I write one more note in my notebook. Day 1. Arrive early, learn names, find the squeak, fix one thing. Then I write a second note. Bring mints. I step onto the balcony. The air smells like sun and laundry. The street below is alive but not loud. I think about the round table, the clock, the plant, and the small bowl of mints. I think about the goat ringtone and the door with strong opinions. I think about Miss Lee's smile through the delay and Mr. Raman's steady pen. I realized that the whole day was not a test. It was a meeting of people who want things to run better. People who like small lights and quiet fixes. People who laugh when the power blanks. I turn back inside and set my alarm for the new beginning. I place my ironed shirt on the chair. I put my shoes by the door. I text my sister one line. It's official. She replies with a storm of emojis and a sentence that makes me grin. Take that umbrella and your checklist and make the weather, she writes. Night arrives, the soft kind with a polite moon. I sit for a moment, palms open, and whisper thank you to the room, to the team, to the T-boy, to the door that squeaked at the right time, and to the tiny letters I keep writing to my future self. Then I switch off the light. The darkness is gentle. Morning is already on the way, carrying a badge with my name on it, and the quiet promise that feels like home.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, Then say the vocabulary word.
Be remembered. Comes to mind. Spring to mind. To stop before you do something. Hesitate. Think something will probably happen. Expect. List of people or items most likely to be chosen. Short list. Does that seem good to you? How does that sound?
Let's try that faster.
Think something will probably happen. Expect. Be remembered. Comes to mind. Spring to mind. To stop before you do something. Hesitate. Does that seem good to you? How does that sound? List of people or items most likely to be chosen. Short list.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Spring to mind. I'd love to help you with an idea for the ad campaign, but nothing springs to mind. Spring to mind. Now, this is a brainstorming session, so just call out whatever springs to mind. Spring to mind. If any further comments or suggestions spring to mind, please do give me a call. Hesitate. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask. Hesitate. Please don't hesitate to get in touch with me if I can be of any assistance. Hesitate. George was about to say something else, but he hesitated, and the opportunity passed. Expect. It was lovely to meet you, Sarah. When can we expect to see you again? Expect. John, can I expect to see the finished report by Friday? Expect. When can we expect to hear your decision, Miss Walsh? Short list. We've shortlisted 3 candidates for the position. Short list. Well, I made the short list, but I still have to add 2 more interviews if I want the job. Short list. The Russian dancer was shortlisted for the role, but in the end, they chose someone else. Johnny, if you're very good this morning, I'll take you out for ice cream. How does that sound? Let's go over the Anderson account first, then move on to the Jones account. How does that sound?